Hi guys, welcome back. We're here for hopefully the last tutorial on this mailbox on the process video. And again, remember the link is going to be in the description box on where to purchase this SVG file. And I'm going to show you the other. There's actually two. There's an overlay for the mailbox. So it'll say Santa Mailbox overlay. And then the other one will say Santa Mailbox LED overlay. So that's how you know the difference, guys. And the ones that don't have the score marks are the overlays. So I wanted to share with you, here's our mailbox that we created earlier. And when you cut out the overlays on one of the files, you'll get the two panels, the front and the sides, and you're gonna have to cut two of those, guys. The lid part, you get the whole thing. You only need one of that. So let's put this one together, and hopefully I will stay in frame. Now, I didn't have a paper that I wanted to use with this blue, because I wanted to be like a wintry night. And I had this paper that was not a Christmas paper. It just has I'm not even going to say tie-dye. It's just kind of a gradient. I don't know. There's something different about this paper, and then little splotches and stuff. And to me, this reminds me of a winter's night. So what I decided to do with this one, I feel like I'm off over here to the side, you guys, and not right in front of the... there you go. I decided to go ahead and just emboss with some stamps that I had, guys, and I mixed a variety of stamps. You know, I wanted trees, I wanted snowflakes, so there's a couple different tree stamps that I used, and the snowflakes, and I embossed. But I did all this, guys, after I had cut out my pieces. And then this one has the Santa and the reindeer and some more snowflakes. This one I just did snowflakes. So I kind of just played around with it, and I knew I wanted to do, you know, like a frosty winter's night, and so silver would have gone well with this. But I had this iridescent, white iridescent, it's called Whisper Glitter Embossing Powder. And I don't even remember where I purchased this, guys. It was a local craft store, because that's where I frequent. But I'm not sure which one. And that's the color that I use here, because it does have glitter in it. So now we're going to put the overlays on our mailbox, you guys. And the two short ones, of course, are the side ones. And the two long ones, wider ones, are the front. Now, this is the front of my mailbox, because it doesn't have the seam up here. So I want this piece on the front of my mailbox. Look at how pretty that is. Now, if you wanted this... I designed this, guys, where you would hardly have any edge left. I mean, you're going to line, and the best place to line it up is going to be right down here, you guys. And for there to be hardly any left, where you couldn't hardly see the actual box. If you want the box to show, you can always take this to your paper trimmer and trim off, you know, the piece, a little piece off the sides. But I don't want it to show on mine, so I'm going to do it this way. And so let's go ahead and adhere this. And I was going to line my paper in with the silver marker, the silver leafing, but I couldn't find it. So I'm not going to do it, but that would have been pretty. And as you can see, all I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm adding glue. I was way over here on my own side, not without a care in the world. All I did was add glue to it, and I'm going to line it up right here, because I know when it lines up here, it's going to line up everywhere else. I can see that I'm a little off. And make sure it's straight over here and here, and that's it. I'm going to turn it upside down so I can kind of just put my hand in here, guys, and make sure it is adhered down. You can do it with tape, but, you know, like I said, I really prefer the glue. And I'm just using my bone folder to burnish it and make sure it's nice and glued down. There's the front, you guys. How pretty is that? So now we're going to do one of the sides. And it doesn't matter which one you choose. Like, I think this is pretty much... self-explanatory. You know what you know what I'm doing here. It's not a big nothing. Just line up again. Right here is where you want to line up. And I think I want this one here. So I'm going to add glue to my piece. And this is one of my favorite glues. I do like the art glitter glue, guys, with a fine tip. But for a bigger piece like this, I do like the Scotch glue because it dries clear and it adheres really quick. So I'm going to line this up, make sure I'm lined up. And it's really hard to do this when you're doing it on camera, because you want to make sure you're lined up. And there it is. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to put my box on its side, and I'm going to use a burnishing tool to burnish it on the inside. Make sure the panel is on there well. But of course, if you use tape, you probably don't have to do this. But so there's the side. Now we're going to do the back. Same thing. Let me move this out of my way. Add the glue. Like, this is really simple, you guys. I mean, you guys know how to do this. You don't know how to adhere panels. But I'm just showing you how well they work. And if mine were a little bit off prior to this video, I actually went in and made adjustments. So when you guys get it, everything will be perfect. Now we're going to line this one up. That looks pretty good. Uh-oh. So make sure you're really careful, you guys, that you're lined up when you put your pieces down, because whether you're using tape or the Scotch glue, it dries pretty quick. And you don't want to have to take it off, because when you take it off, 9 times out of 10, you're going to tear your paper. So there's that panel. And now we're going to do the last one. And this one has the Santa. So this is the last one we're going to do. And the reason you see a lip on top, you guys, because that's the lip that's inside the box. It's not that the panel's not long enough. The panel is only as long as your box. That's the extra lip that we added so our lid could sit in there. Again, I'm going to add glue to this, especially around here where the edges. You want to make sure you have glue around the edges. And then that's not real important. It is, but it's not. And I'm going to hopefully line up here. And it seems to be going pretty well, because usually I have to pull my work towards me, but this seems to be working. And we're going to put this panel down. Yep. And again, I'm going to use my burnishing tool and to make sure it's adhered down. How simple was this mailbox, you guys? And it looks kind of complicated. And if I didn't share with you how I did this, it would give you a hard time, because it's like those dies that we buy that don't have a picture and we don't know how to put it together. Look at that Santa right there. Isn't that pretty, guys? Okay, so now we're going to paper piece. Does that look like a winter's night to y'all? It's pretty, right? I didn't stamp it correctly right here, but I didn't want to go over it because I knew I would ruin it. I mean, I could probably just dab some with, I have the Versamark pen for like freehand embossing. I could add something there and then add more of the embossing powder. But there's the box, guys. Now let's work on the lid. Here's our lid. It's already put together, and I'm going to show you the pieces to the lid. These, when you print out the pieces to the lid, you're going to get everything. The pieces, the overlays to the lid and the overlays to the dome. So what you're going to get is you're going to get 2 pieces like this. You're going to get this piece. You're going to get 2 of the little half circles for the little hood. And then you're going to get the overlay for the little hood. So there's that. But what I did, guys, when I cut out the blue, and I had the kind of like a stencil. I went ahead and just traced that and cut these out to go on the inside of my lid to kind of clean that up. So that's what we're going to do here. Let me make sure this is the right one. I kind of just traced it, cleaned it up, and I will glue these in there. That way it looks really clean. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Hopefully my lid won't be too tight because of the overlay I'm putting on the inside. Because I didn't design it really with that extra space. But we'll see. It might be okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in there. All the way in. I want to make sure that I don't have any overhang right here. And just kind of burnish it down. What did I do with my tool? Here it is. Just kind of burnish it down. Be careful that you don't smash the lid when you're holding onto it because, you know, it is just paper. So there's the inside of the lid. It kind of really cleaned that up. So let's do the other side. And like I said, you can either cut two of these, but really I would only cut it if I were lining also the dome part. Then I would cut two because then I would have the pieces to go inside. But because I'm not doing that, making sure this lines up, I'm making sure this has no overhang, guys. And then I'll put it in. Because I'm not doing that, that's why I cut it by hand. Just kind of use the outline of the ones that I had cut to make the dome lid. Use the outline of the paper that was left as a stencil and just kind of traced around it and cut them out with my scissors. There. See the inside, how clean that looks? And it gives you extra stability on your lid as well, guys. And when we put this dome piece over it, it's going to do the same thing. So we're going to add this to here. But before I kind of add glue to it, I do want to curve it. Even though I'm using thinner paper, I kind of do want to curve it. I'm going to just keep going with it around my bottle, and just so it, you know, you want to train it to have that, take that shape. That one's a little thick. Let's use something thinner. Maybe this one. I mean, not as big around, because I want to train my paper to stay that way. Maybe I need to use this. Yeah, see how it's curving really well? It's curving really well because the paper's kind of thin and it's not cracking. You're not getting the cracking or anything like that because the paper is thin. And give it another. There we go. See how it's curved, you guys? And that's what you want it to do. And I'm going to go ahead and add my glue. And we're going to line up with this little slot, you guys. That's how we're going to line it up in the mailbox. So go ahead and add your glue, especially around this little piece. And then around the perimeter. Make sure you get your edges. Okay. Here's the lid, guys. Let me move those pieces over. And I'm going to line up. And I need to be quick because remember I told you this glue dries really fast. So that's what I'm going to use right here, that little slot to line up. If that slot is lined up, everything else will line up. If I'm off there, I'm going to be off everywhere else. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So now I'm just going to curve it, guys, and make sure I follow the edge of my lid. And my glue might have dried up a little bit. Might have to go back and add more glue on the corners, especially. See right there? By the time I put it down, it kind of dried up. But I can go in here and add more glue. See how that lines up? When you're lined up there, you're lined up everywhere. And I can see that I might be a little bit off, but it's not too bad because this was designed to fit perfectly over this. Now, if you have an overhang because you didn't line up the way I did, I can feel a little bit right here. I can go back and trim that, you guys. Or if I want to have more of the blue showing, then of course I would trim it all the way around. That way I would have a border of the darker blue. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Make sure that's nice and glued down. I need some more glue right here, guys. Go. Just gonna make sure that's nice and glued down. I'm telling you, this glue dries really quick, so you have to be fast with this glue. But here's the lid, guys. So let's put it on our mailbox and see what it looks like. We're not done with the mailbox yet because we still got to do the sides. But I want to make sure that because I put those two pieces inside, that the lid is still gonna close. It's okay if it's snug, but I want to make sure that it's going to close properly. Yeah, it's a little snug because of that piece I put in there. There it goes. Okay, we're good, guys. We're good. So if you put it, as long as it's a thin piece of paper, you're good. Okay, this right here needs glue. I can tell this is not glued down, so I'm going to add a little bit of glue here as well. And I can see the little overhang right there. And I'm actually just going to take my scissors and trim that off because I didn't line it up perfectly. I'm going to have that. Yeah, that looks really well. And see how this kind of starts to straighten up, you guys, because of the other piece that's on top. See, it starts to get a better, firmer shape. Okay, let's do the sides of our mailbox. Hopefully this video won't run short. And here is the little overlays that go on here. And again, you're going to do the same thing. Just add some glue around the perimeter. Make sure you get the perimeter. And then that. And they should line up perfectly. Ah, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to put it down like this, guys. Ooh, I didn't line up. That's what's difficult about doing a video, guys, that when we're trying to get something right, I see a little bit of an overhang, and we pull our work towards us. That's why we do it, because we're trying to line up. But because we're working over here, it's hard to do that. But I will try. Just getting little pieces that I see that are not, that I didn't line up correctly. Do the same thing here around the perimeter. And line up here at the bottom. I did it again, you guys. Golly. Let's see where there's a little bit of white sticking out. And it's so little, so minute, but it's enough to bother me. There. Like, look at the little slivers, you guys. Seriously, that's how off it was. But that's enough to bother me. So here's the lid, you guys. And then, of course, we're going to add trim around here. So anything that is kind of little off, really it doesn't matter, because when you add trim, that's not going to show, guys. But look at the inside of the lid, how clean it looks, because we added those sides in it. And if you would have covered the inside, of course, it would have looked even nicer. But this looks pretty nice to me. I don't think it needs anything else. And like I said, it's a little tight when I go to close it because of that extra layer that I put in. But sometimes I think that's good, because then my lid will stay put. So there it is, guys. There's the side. There's the back. And again, we are going to add trim here, but you can try and train this so it doesn't curve like that. There's the other side. I love how straight these look. And there's the front, and there's the slot. Now we have to cover the little hood. Look how pretty that mailbox is looking, guys. Now we have to cover the, remember what I told you, everything doesn't have to be pink. It seems this season we're all doing pink. Maybe I'm just a rebel. I don't know. So we're going to cover these, guys, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to curve this to give it that curvature so it'll follow the shape of the little hood. I might be able to do a good job with this tool. Yeah. And I just want to train it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but. And this little piece goes here. Make sure it's facing the right way, I think. Yeah. This is about the right way. It fits perfectly right on top of here, you guys. So I'm going to add this right there. So make sure you line up in the front, because the back part, if you add trim or something, that's not going to show. But the front of your mailbox, you want that to be, whoops, as perfect as possible. I hope that I'm in frame, you guys. I'm trying to keep it straight. Ah, come on. Let's show a little bit of blue there. That looks pretty good. And we're going to curve it to the back. And just with your fingers, I'm just rubbing it down with my fingers, making sure it's glued down. And my glue might have dried, guys, by the time I got it where I want it. But look at how perfect that fits. So remember, this flap is going to go inside the hood. So right here, to do these sides, I'm just going to add some glue around the edges. Add my little half circle. Hopefully line it up. Do the same on the outside. Now I could have traced, and I might still, not on video, but I could have traced where I cut these out of and cleaned the inside of the hood to look like the inside of the lid. And I think that I am going to do that, guys. I'm not going to do it on camera, but I just want to clean up that little, see where you see the notches? I want to clean that up where it's really a clean work. But after you get done with this, guys, then you're going to bring your mailbox in, and you're going to add tape or glue here. Let's take the lid off the mailbox. I don't think it was a very hard process, you guys. I think it was pretty easy. I'm going to take the lid off the mailbox. Right here where the slot goes, that's where this little slot slides in. You're going to turn it to the inside, and you're going to glue it down. You're going to glue it down right there in the center of that. Right there is where you want to glue it down. And that's the hood to your mailbox. I'm going to go ahead and do that because I can actually finish the inside of the hood later on, and nothing will be in the way. But I just want to complete this completely before you want to center it in between the slots and hold it down. Make sure it's glued down. And you could use hot glue for this. I just used, like I said, regular glue. And I actually have my finger underneath it because I don't want to lose the shape of the dome. But I want to make sure this glues down. There's the hood, you guys, to your mailbox. And as you can see, there is a slot. How cute is that, you guys? Isn't that super cute? Let's put the mailbox together now. And I'm not going to decorate it on camera because we all have our own styles. But I want to show you how beautiful that it does look. Come on. Come in here. There you go. So you do have to work with it a little bit, guys. But look at that. Look at the mailbox, guys. Look how pretty that looks. That's really pretty. There's the bottom. How nice. Let me see if I can lift you up so you can get a better view of the mailbox. I think you can see most of it there. Look at the beautiful mailbox that we just created, guys, on camera. So I hope you like, guys, what I designed. I didn't put a door here. But you can do a door here. Just do, and this is a good place, guys, to use those journaling cards that are smaller to put it like a panel, and then you put foam or whatever, and then you put your sentiment on top and make it look like a faux door. And I'll show you mine. Actually, one I already shipped out, but I'll show you the first one. It's this door right here, guys. See how I used this panel to make this faux door right here? Now, this was actually cut out from the box, and afterwards I thought, that defeats the purpose of making a box. So I didn't do that anymore. But on the other one that I created, and there is a video on that one, I just kind of put a panel up here to mimic a door. And if you put a hinge in it, you can mimic it to open or whatever. But after I decorate this, guys, I am going to do a project share. Anyway, the link is going to be in the description box. You already saw how I put together this box and how simple it was, guys. So I hope that you like what I created and that you try it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Everyone have a great day and God bless. Bye.